Now this here's the tale of a fellow by the name of Ol Brit Bailey and his ghost. Now back a long time ago, back before Texas was even part of the United States, while it still belonged to Mexico, even before a fellow named Stephen F. Austin ever set foot in this territory, there was a fellow by the name of Ol Brit Bailey come across the Sabine River. And this fellow Brit Bailey figured he'd start a new life over here in Texas, and he found himself a nice piece of property along the east bank of the Brazos River, and he just squatted on right down there, started building him a farm. Well, it wasn't too much longer after he got here before Mexico granted permission to old Stephen F. Austin to come into Texas, bring 300 people and settle along the Brazos River, right where Ol Brit Bailey was. Well, Stephen F. Austin, he went to see Ol Brit Bailey, and he said, "Now, look here, Brit, you ain't got no title to this here land, and you're going to have to move on along." Well, Ol Brit, he didn't cotton much to that message, and he sat down in front of Austin. He said, "Look here, Austin, me and this here rifle, well, we figure I'm a-staying." Now, Stephen F. Austin wasn't dumb, and he figured Ol Brit would be better by his side in the fight than facing off with him. So he decided to go ahead and write Ol Brit a title to that land anyway. Well, over the years, Ol Brit, he was kind of a might prickly sort of neighbor. But he did come in handy in a fight, whether it was with Karankawa Indians or with the Mexican authorities down at Velasco. Now eventually, after many years, well, everybody comes to the end of the line at some point, and Ol Brit Bailey weren't no different. He knew his time was coming soon, and he called his wife to his bedside and he said, "Honey, I won't be here much longer in this life, and I have a few specific requests for when I pass on." Well, his wife listened. She followed his request when he died. Now he said, "I want to be buried in a hole, standing up, facing west, with my rifle in my hand and my moonshine whiskey at my feet." Well, being a Christian lady, she met almost all of his requests. She buried him in a hole, facing west, with his rifle by his side. But she figured if she couldn't keep that moonshine out of his hand in this life, she was going to do it in the next. Well, it wasn't too long after he died before travelers along El Camino Real would see this ghostly light floating across his property. And if they went to investigate, that light would just plumb chase him out of there. Well, his wife figured that was Ol Brit's ghost coming to look for that moonshine whiskey that she had promised him. Well, she decided to go ahead and open up his grave and put that whiskey down in there with him. And that seemed to settle him down for a spell. But to this day, if you go down to Ol Brit's property and you go nosing around over there, don't be surprised if you see that old light come chasing you off. Because Ol Brit, well, he don't like people messing around on his property, and he ain't letting nobody near his moonshine whiskey.